Hi, I'm Dr. Shalini Thakur and I'm a hermetic surgeon here at HCG Bangalore. Today I'm here to talk to you about oral cancer. Head and neck cancer is very common, especially in our country, and among them, lip and oral cavity cancer account for one of the highest incident cancer amongst males. So out of every cancer that is found in the general population, the highest number of cancers that are found are oral cavity cancers. Now, why that is interesting is because oral cavity is one of the most easily examined part of the body. Whenever something grows in any other part of our body, it may grow unnoticed, but within our mouth or on our face, this should be easily detected, right? But that is not what usually happens. More than 60% of the patients that come to us at an advanced stage where treatment becomes challenging. Oral cancer can be easily treated and treated well with good survival and very less morbidity if patients present to us at an early stage. To enable this, in today's video, we are going to look at easy steps by which an individual may examine oneself in order to check oneself for any suspicious growths that may be occurring in their mouths. So here I have Mr. Srinivas, who has kindly volunteered to help me show you the various steps in examining the oral cavity. Now, any examination of the oral cavity begins first with the lips. So you look at the lips. When you look at the lips in front of the mirror, you must see that it is smooth with no growths. So sometimes when any growth is persistently present on the lip, you may want to bring that to the notice of your dentist or your physicians. The next step would be open your mouth to examine the inside of your lips. So the simple thing to do would be, yes, Mr. Srinivas is showing me how. You just have to take your finger and thumbs and you have to look at the inside of the lips, whether it is smooth and glossy and if there are any growths present or not. Sometimes small bubbles like swellings may be present on the inside of the lips, but that is nothing to worry about. That represents salivary glands that is present commonly in everybody. So then you look at the upper lip in a similar manner. Okay, so when you look at the lip, you look not only at the inside of the lip but at the gums as well. Okay, the next step would be to examine the cheek, the inner part of the cheek. So you open wide, okay, and with two fingers gently pull out your cheek and you look at the insides of the cheek. So usually there is a white line that is present at the level of the bite of the upper and lower teeth, which is quite common. But if you find any white patch or a mixed white and red patch on the inside of the cheek in this area, okay, which has burning, please bring that to the notice of your dentist or physician because that may represent a pre-malignant lesion. Similarly, do the examination on the other side of the cheek as well. Here you can see the white line quite clearly. This white line is nothing to worry about. Okay, so the next part of the examination is the tongue. Now in the tongue you need to look at three specific regions. First is the top of the tongue called the dorsum. They will have small dots which represent the various taste buds on the tongue. Okay, then look at the sides of the tongue. Turn to this side. You look at both the sides of the tongue to see if there are any growths or ulcers on the tongue. You also touch the side of the tongue. You also feel the tongue to see if there are any areas that may appear hard or changed in texture. The next thing is to raise the tongue up and look at the underside of the tongue. This area should appear red and smooth and lined by saliva. So this is a normal oral cavity, so therefore you don't find any big changes. The next step would be to look at the roof of the mouth called the palate. So for this, you will have to raise your head slightly, open your mouth wide and use a mirror at this angle so that you can look into it and see the palate as well. Okay, the next step would be to look at the gums or the gingiva all around your teeth and look at the gutter between the cheek and the gingiva. So you can also run your finger along just to see that there are no growths in those areas. Okay, now incidentally, the tumors arising from this gutter between the teeth and the cheek is the most commonly incident area to have tumors in the Indian subcontinent. Jorava madi, So this is how you would examine your tonsils, which is the last area that you would need to see. You would open wide with your tongue inside and say and you would look at the tonsils on either side of your mouth. So this completes the examination of the oral cavity. So the next part of the oral cavity examination would be to examine the neck. Now this is important because many of the oral cavity cancers present with a swelling in the neck. Now when you are examining the neck, what you need to do is turn your head gently to one side, run your hands or fingers along the lower part of the jaw, along these muscles going up to the midline here, okay, then along the collarbone you go behind up to the level of the shoulder, and then again palpate or feel for any swellings in these areas behind the ear and in front of the ear as well. So this completes the examination on one side of the neck. You repeat the same on the opposite side. Okay, so this way you would examine for any swellings in the neck. Now let me tell you that swellings in the neck are common and it can occur after any infections as well. Any infections arising from the teeth or anywhere in the head and neck area, in fact, can lead to some infectious swelling. These swellings will often present with a lot of pain. They will usually be mobile and they will subside after a course of antibiotics or painkillers. Any swelling that is hard, fixed, as in does not move very easily, does not subside after antibiotics and painkillers, is persistent or is showing signs of growth, okay, and does not present with pain. These are the swellings that you must take with a lot of seriousness and immediately consult with your physician, ENT surgeon or a dentist nearby for attention. Oral cavity cancers are largely preventable because up to 90% of them are related to the use of tobacco and alcohol or both. So therefore the first step in preventing oral cavities must be cessation of these habits. But even otherwise, one must make it a routine practice to examine the oral cavity and the head and neck regions in order to identify these cancers at an early stage so that their treatment become less of a challenge and impose less challenges in the quality of life of the patient as well. Thank you, Srinivas, for joining me today.